Shalom. Can you guys hear me? Shalom too. Well, let's see here. Gary, Ken, Debs, Betty, Julie, Michael, Troy, Vicky, Servant of Hashem, Mentat Assassin, Annie, Yakar, Vicky, Gabrielle, Frank in Thailand, Shalom. Hauta Ali, hey, hello, Hauta. Julie, Elizabeth. All right, nice turnout today, guys. Right on time, interesting. Could it be that First Kings is more exciting than the Torah? What? So, how did you know we're doing the comic book tonight? We actually have a picture here, so let's have a look here at the graphic novel. Maybe I'll get myself out of the way. Okay. So, we've got King Solomon sitting on his throne. These guys are bowing down. Oh, they're bringing him goodies. Okay. Look, there's more stuff in the back. Solomon doesn't look happy, though, in that picture, though. I don't know what's going on. All right, so let's try to get it closer to the text. We're on verse 15 tonight. So that's just inside this page. Hey, Riley, great. And Esther, shalom, Thea. Tet, hey, thanks for noticing the haircut. Oh yeah, I'm not on screen anymore. There we go. There we go. It's about time. All right, let's. That seems kind of small. I really got used to the nice Hebrew Bible we were using. Maybe you saw enough of the picture. We can switch to the. It's fine. Okay, let's just make sure you can see it. The glossy seems to be reflecting more than usual. Oh, that's good. You got time, Riley? All right, we'll go longer then. Just kidding. Good, good, good. Glad to hear it. I was just feeling like Psalm 3. And this is the Bible I got in my hand. This is an old Bible of mine. I think I showed you guys this before. It's a couple or maybe almost 3 decades old, this one. You can see it's got all my notes from my youth in there. But, oh, no, 3. I want to do 3. Psalm 3. Just as our opening prayer. Maybe I won't translate tonight, so it doesn't take too much of our time. Hope you can see that all right. All right, so there's Gimel, Psalm 3. Mizmor LeDavid, Bevocho Mipnei Avshalom Beno. Adonai marabu tzarai, rabim kamim alai, rabim omerim lenafshi, ein yeshuata lo, ve'elohim selah. Ve'ata Adonai, magen ba'adi, kevodi omerim roshi, koli el Adonai ekra, ve'ya'aneni mehar kodsho selah. Ani shachavti va'ishana. Hakitzoti ki Adonai yismacheni, lo ira merivot am, asher saviv shatu alai, kuma Adonai, hoshi'eni Elohai, ki hikita et kol oivai lechi, shiner sha'im shibarta, l'Adonai ha'shura, al amecha v'chatecha, selah. Very nice. So that says, a psalm of David when he was fleeing from before Avshalom, his son. Oh, Adonai, how abundant, how many are my enemies. Numerous are those who stand against me. That's another word for enemy. How many are those who say, or who eye my life? There is no salvation for him from God, Selah. But you, Adonai, are the shield, or it can mean my suzerain, the shield, in my duration, like in my life, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. With my voice unto Adonai I call, and he answers me from his holy hill, Selah, holy mountain. I myself laid down, and I slept. I woke up, because Adonai sustains me. I will not fear from the myriads of people who surround with their shafts against me, or set against me. Arise, O Adonai, save me, O my God. May you, oh, that you would smash all of my enemies in the cheek or the jawbone, that the teeth of the wicked you would shatter. The salvation or the victory belongs to Adonai for his people. Birchatecha Selah, your blessing, Selah. All right. Feel like a good opening prayer? Yofi? Okay, and now let's get going. We are on Hebrew 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 15. Tet says, prayers for successful spinal energy of Achi, Kevin Hunt, and quick healing with no complications. Amen. Ken Yiratzon. We dedicate this shiur to the Refuah Shelema for Kevin Hunt. Ben Avraham, I'm assuming. Hey, shalom, Dr. Jones. Stephen, good to see you here. All right. Well, that's a nice turnout. Baruch Hashem. Okay, so verse 15. Levad me'anshe hatarim u'mischa harochalim. Okay, that's me. Okay, we can't sing it because the cantillation marks aren't there. Oh, it's Kings. So levad is like alone, right? Or a single one, alone. Me'anshe. Me, you guys know me. This is min. When we contract, we form a contraction. We put min into the word, and the noon tries to go inside of the next word to make it double, right? But this is an aleph. This is a letter that cannot be doubled. So the letters you cannot double, you cannot put a dagesh, a doubling dot inside of them, are aleph, ayin, hey, and chet. Those four are called the gutturals. And then there's a fifth one, resh, who's a wannabe guttural. He also can't be doubled. Because it really doesn't make sense, I guess, to go, ah! There's just so many reshes. So instead, that noon that tries to assimilate into here as a dot, you can think of the dot as coming down, and it lengthens our single the one dot, into two dots. Okay? May. Deb says it's encouraging to see your notes on the margin. You were studying like us back then. Yes! Exactly. Exactly. Be encouraged. Yeah, I've gone through what you're going through. Riley says that the Tanakh is older than Riley. Yeah, my precious. It was falling apart. And when I lived in Switzerland, I had it rebound with ram's hide and stuff. Yeah, so it's not falling apart because I abused it. It was just a very cheap, I should have invested more. It was a cheap Tanakh, cardboard spine, one of these deals. So, all right. I had a Torah that I went through entirely one time with notes like this, but very pretty. And I left it on an airplane in the States somehow, like I guess on the overhead or whatever. Probably in the seat in front, little pocket. And I contacted the lost and found. I tried to get it was gone. Nobody found it. Or they threw it away or something. Just so sad. I was like, no. That was the first one with nice, colorful notes everywhere. It's like, all right, Betty's back. Sounds like that should be a song. Okay, so May from Anshe. This is from Anashim, right? The plural of Ish, a man, is Anashim, men, or people. It can mean people also. And when you drop the mem, Anshe, that's men of, or people of, okay? Now, don't be confused. I knew a couple guys who got confused sometimes with Zachor, right? Which means male. When you put male in plural, it can't mean men or women, okay? That's just males. But Anashim, that can be a mixed group. It can be people, right? I think we do this in English a little bit, right? Like mankind, or, maybe not. Maybe not with like 10 men. We really mean men, right? So this is how you can say people not meaning an ethnicity, not Am. If you say Am or Amim, or like Goyim, that's like a nations or a specific ethnicity, a specific people, right? The general form for people in English, like some people were there, we would say Anashim in that case. Okay? But you couldn't use it for all women. Interesting. Debs made the connection with Enosh. So Enosh is an Aramaic word for for a man, and it's poetic in Hebrew. It's poetic, right? So you're thinking Bar Enosh, right? Son of man from Daniel. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, that's a great way to connect it with that Aramaic root. That's the relation, right? In the ancient Semitic, the ancient Hebrew, that was the word that was used. Okay? And you can actually look, if we look at it, let's look at this just for a second. You can kind of see, you know how I've been talking a lot about how the N sound in many languages, when it's sandwiched between two letters, Shalom Brenda, when it's sandwiched between two letters, it likes to disappear or assimilate. So look, what happens if you have Anshe, or we could even say Enosh, but we'll just say Anshe. What if that noon disappeared? Ashe. It's almost like Ish, right? It's almost Ish. You will see Ishim, but it's a rare poetic form. So usually we use this. So Me Anshe, because we drop the mem, that makes it the of, right? From men of Hatarim. So this is an interesting word. It's from Tur. It's a hollow verb. Tav, Vav, Resh. Okay? Or some say Tayar. In hollow verbs, that middle root letter disappears. And so we're left just with the Tav and the Resh. Now this is like to tour around. To tour is to tour around, like to go around, like you're going around visiting places, you're checking out new places, right? So, men of the touring, really, right? So it has to do with trading, discovering new trade routes and that kind of stuff. So kind of an interesting word used this way. So me anshe, so levad, only from the men of touring, right? So some kind of tradesman, maybe we'll say tradesman. Umischa harochalim. And so a socher, that's not what the word is exactly, but a socher is somebody who is a trader, right? Like a trader, like he's trading goods, right? Oftentimes a foreigner comes in the land, back then he's trading. But this is mischar. So this is like trading as an abstract, like the things that are traded, harochalim, of peddlers, another word for trading. A rochel is a peddler, right? Again, he goes around, which is interesting because this word is related to, we have a Jewish Aramaic word, a rachil. Rachil is a rudder on a boat, right? So it's like the thing that's, you turn it and it makes you move around. So you can see, but a rochel in Hebrew, it's someone who goes around, he's selling stuff, right? So there's these connections. And actually rachil also, we have another word from rachil, from the rudder on the boat, rachilut. Rachilut, which is, how to explain rachilut? Okay, so if you say something bad about somebody, right? Let's say that you saw me lose my cool. Let's say I'm down at the mall somewhere and somebody bumps into me and they spill something on me and I start shouting at him, you watch where you're going, you idiot, or whatever, okay? You see me doing it. So it really happened. And then you go and you tell somebody else, oh man, I can't believe it. He was shouting at this guy, right? Okay, it's true it happened, but we call that lashon hara. That is wicked speech, right? You're not supposed to report that kind of stuff to other people, okay? You keep it to yourself unless it directly affects them to keep them from being damaged. But then somebody overheard them, and that person comes back and tells me, so-and-so said that about you. That's rachilut, you see? Reporting back to the victim of the gossip. The victim of the gossip, when you tell them that somebody said that stuff about them, you've just done rachalut, like the rudder, right? And so that's why we have in the apostolic writings, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's Jacob, right? Yeah, Jacob. I think Jacob talks about the tongue, and you have to be careful about the tongue, right? Because it's, it can do all this harm, and he compares it to the rudder on a boat, right? I think that's why he's comparing it to the rudder on the boat, because you rochel with the rudder, right? You control with it, and rachelut is the sin of, returning the gossip back. So anyway, okay. So in this case, a rochel is like a peddler, right? A peddler. Oh, that's different, Debs. Good, nice connection though with racha, but there's no lamed on the end of that one. Yeah, racha is like a fool. Yeah. The reason Yeshua says you're in danger of the judgment with that is because if you insult somebody so badly to their face, a man, between men, right? It's like Jordan Peterson says, there's always a threat of violence between men, right? And that's why we're civilized. Because it's always like underneath, right, the hood that you might get punched, right, or something. And so Raka, this is kind of the equivalent of, this might not help you over where you're at, Debs, but for the Westerners, it's like someone coming up to your face and saying, F you, you effing, like using really foul language to your face. Probably there's going to be a fight, right? I mean, with most, you roll the dice, somebody does that, if they're about the same size and the guy's saying it's not like a monster, then probably there's a fight, right? So that's what Yeshua is saying, because if you do that, you're starting a progress of events that could result in someone getting seriously injured or killed, right? So Landon says, hi guys, I have an early day today, so can't stay long. Love you and miss you all here today. Okay, great, Landon, no problem. Thanks for checking in. Steven says, very interesting connection between the tongue and rudder. Yeah, right? Yeah, cool. Great. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we know you got to get to work. I'm glad you checked in at least. That's nice. And we get the the live like. Okay. V'chol malchei ha'arev. V'chol. And all of malchei. So what is malchei? So you put the mem on the end. Malchim, right? Malchim. Malchim is plural of melech. Melech. So melech is a king. Melachim are kings. We drop the mem. Malchei, kings of. Okay? So v'chol and all of the malchei, kings of ha'erev. Ha'erev. Of the, interesting, the erev. So erev, it's not saying the evening, okay? It's not saying all the kings of the night, right? You know, the erev is the night, right? You know, it's the evening. This is like in all likelihood, this is an early reference to the Arabs, right? All the kings of the Arabs, right? Those, it's related to the word for evening, right? That's where we get the word for raven in Orev. You change the vowels, and Orev is a raven because it's a very dark bird. So the ancient Israelis, the Arabs seem really dark compared to them, right? So it's an Arab, it's an Erev is evening, Orev is a bird, and the Aravim are the Arabs, the ancient nomadic peoples who lived out in the desert and really got burnt by the sun, right? Okay, ufachot and fachot. Okay, so this is from the word pecha, which is pay. Hey, a pecha is a governor, like something like this, some kind of high-level ruler, but not the king, like subordinate to a king. So it's like a governor, maybe like governor, mayor, depending on what you're talking about. Yay! Vicky says, "Keep safe." GQW. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay, that's gentle, quiet woman. Nice. Filipinos always come up with great acronyms. All right. So, and the governors, ha'aretz, of the land. Right? Verse 16. Actually, let me take a drink. Oh, I finished my tea already. I don't know. That's all right. I have backup water. Give me just a second, folks. Actually, well, we can go a bit longer. All right. Verse 16. Maybe ministers, not prime ministers, right? Because you would have several governors, right, over different regions. Oh, yeah, Stephen makes a good point. He says Arabs were well known to be involved in trading as well, right? So, yeah, that would make some sense. Yeah. But isn't it cool you can get so many words from one root, right? So, and you can kind of connect them. You can make those connections in your mind. So oftentimes you get multiple words for the price of one, right? So you probably already knew Arab, right? Especially if any of you have ever looked at the first page of Genesis, right? Vayhi volke, vayhi erev, vayhi volke yom echad. And it was an evening, and it was a morning, a united day, yom echad, right? And so, so now you know that's the evening. Then you can maybe think about getting burnt by the sun out in the desert. Okay, so that's an Arab, right? And then you can think, and then the bird, right? An Orev, right? So you got the blackbird, you got the Arabs, and you also got the evening. So you kind of get a bunch of things for free, right? So ambassadors, no, I don't think so. Yeah, there's another word there's a poetic word for ambassador. What is that? When I see it, I recognize it. Well, it's not necessarily ambassador, the one I'm thinking of anyway. It's, I don't know, maybe. I don't want to put that down, Gary. Maybe. Because so many of these words about positions are very highly nuanced depending on who you're talking about, right? Like, when we look at the Persian Empire in the Hebrew, we end up with, words for satraps and, these other kinds of things that they have. We even end up using some of the Persian words, or you get the word for sar, which is a prince, but sometimes it means a captain, right? So just really highly nuanced. So maybe in the right context, maybe that could be an ambassador in the right context. Yeah, it's possible. Emissary, yeah, maybe. Although, yeah, shaliach, I think is usually what we'd use for emissary, like a sent one, someone who's sent out, right? But, okay. All right, let's go. Good conversation. I like the ideas. Okay, verse 16. Vayas hamelech shalomo. Okay? Don't be like the Tel Aviv guys. It's shlomo. It's a vocal schwa. Shalomo. Okay? Asa is to do or to make. You drop the hey. And then the yod at the beginning tells you it's he. So ya'as is he is doing, or he will be doing, or he is making, or he will be. Remember, asa is. Oh yeah, okay. Good. Yeah, take it. Make. Okay, and then vaya'as is and he made or and he did. Who's the he? Hamelech Shalomo. So Solomon the king. Okay, did or made. Oh, here. Matayim Tzina Zahav. Okay. So this is from the word mea. And do you remember last night we talked about the dual? The dual, that's the ending of a word when it goes ayim at the end. That means, usually, it means there's two of the thing, right? And so we talked about shamayim, the heavens. And, I think it's dual because one is the daytime and one is by night, what it looks like, right? Or we have chayim, you have for life. Maybe it's because there's this life and the life in the world to come, right? Or yad, I could say yad, here's a hand, here's my other hand. This is yadayim, two hands, or einayim, two eyes, oznayim, two ears, afbayim, two nostrils, etc. Okay. So this is from mea, which means 100. And this is still used this way in modern Hebrew. You go to the store, they'll say, if they say matayim, you go 200 shekels, okay? So ayim is 2 of mea, 200s, right? So matayim, 200, tzina. So what is a tzina? Now, we had in the Psalm today, in Psalm 3, we kind of went quickly through it, but we had a magain. Magain is a shield, but it's like a circular shield that the guy, or a small shield, it could be rectangular, but it was small that he held on his arm, right? So you got your short sword and you got your shield for hand-to-hand combat. You can block with one, hit with your dominant arm, right? That was a magain. A tzina is a full body shield, usually rigid. So you could also have it on your arm, but you'd pull it from your whole body, right? You usually grab it. So from your feet all the way to your head. So the arrows are coming in or something, you got your tzina, right? And that's going to protect you. So he made, or he commissioned to be made. I'm sure he's not sitting there himself making the shields. He made 200 shields. What kind of shields? Zahav, gold, golden. Okay. And how was the gold handled? It was shachut. Shachut means like hammered into position, hammered down. Sheish me'ot zahav, 600. So there's mea in the plural. So notice here, mea becomes matayim for 200, but me'ot is the general plural, right? So sheish, that's 6, me'ot, 100, zahav, gold. So probably like gold pieces. Nedivim, Gary, that was the word I was trying to think of before. That is probably a little bit closer to ambassadors. A nadiv. A nadiv is like it's a kind of nobleman, right? So they usually would get these kind of positions. So, okay. Ya'aleh. So, Allah, we know Allah, to ascend. And the yod means he. So, Ya'aleh. So this is, okay, so he made ascend al upon Hatzina, upon the shield, ha'echat, one. So on each shield. Okay. So I think what it's trying to say is he put each shield up, right? These are like decorative. Yeah. Oh, could it be 600 gold pieces he used? It does say al Hatzina ha'echat. Seems quite off. Okay, 600 gold pieces. Okay, but we're not really sure about the size of the gold piece there. On one shield. And he had 200 of these shields. So that could be because, remember, Sheba, Queen of Sheba, gave him like all these key cars and big old wagon loads full of gold. So yeah, maybe. Okay, verse 17. Okay, actually, let me. I'm gonna get my drink now, real quick. I put it off for one verse, but body doesn't want to wait now. Okay, and we're back. It's not letting me come back. What's going on? There we go. All right. Verse 17. Ushalosh me'ot maginim zahav. Okay. So, this is and it's an because of our bump schwa rule, right? So, sheen is not a b or a m or a pa, so it's not part of the bump, but it does have a schwa underneath, the little colon-looking thing. Bling, yeah, Brenda, yeah, bling. Yeah, indeed. And shalosh means 3. And it became shalosh because it's got this makef here. These were originally a compound word. So in ancient times, at least 1,000 years ago, 1,200 years ago, when the Masoretes were pointing this, they would say shlosh meot, shlosh meot, shlosh meot. Here, like it's one word, like it's a compound. Okay, kind of like in English when you have a houseboat, you have a house and you have a boat. We don't say, "Oh, that's a nice houseboat," right? We just have one accent. That's a nice houseboat. Same thing here. They didn't say, "Ooh, shalosh meot." They said, "Ooh, shlosh meot." See, like one word. But we don't do that anymore today. That's just you can understand why the there was an here. In shalosh, it became an because the accent is further away. It doesn't get as much attention. Okay? Everybody doing all right? Any comments or questions? Ted says, someone has voice influence. He has a say. Pei ka. Oh, yeah, not bad. That's a good way to think of it. For a pecha. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, he's got mouth. And she's doing a Tagalog joke. In Filipino, ka is like you, right? So, good. All right. Ushalosh me'ot. So this is 3 of 100. So 300 maginim. So this is what I was just talking about, the magain. I didn't realize it's in the next verse. I was thinking from the psalm, I could have just said, wait for it, right? So a magain, that's that circular shield usually, right? Or the shield that's smaller. So the tzina is a big shield, and a magain is a small shield. And this is maginim. These are shields of zahav, of gold. Golden shields. Oh, we're on time. We're right on time. Great, great, great. Shachut, again, pounded out. Shaloshet manim zahav. Okay. Shaloshet, so this is from shalosha, just the other form of shalosh. And it became construct, just like shalosh became shalosh. Shalosha becomes shaloshet, right? So it's 3 of manim. This is a rare word, guys, so I don't know if you want to bother memorizing this or not. So don't confuse it with minim, which are like species, like types, right? That's different. So like when we say one of the blessing for the grains, right? You know, you say, boy mine mezinot, that's from minim, different species of grains, okay? So this is from mane. It ends in a hey, but it's actually masculine. A mane is a unit of measuring solids, usually metals, okay? Don't remember exactly how big that is, but anyway. So for the shields, he had 3 manim, so 3 manes of gold, zahav, golden manes, ya'ale, put up, al upon, hamagen, ha'echad, upon each shield. So literally on hamagen, the shield, ha'echat, the one. Okay. Vayitneim hamelech beit ya'ar. Okay. Vayitneim. Okay, this is from Natan, to give, and the nun assimilated. That's why there's the dot in the tav. So yitneim, the mem is a suffix for them. So yitneim means he is giving them or setting them, right? Va changes the aspect. Va yitne means and he set, or he gave. Who's the he? Hamelech, okay, the king. Okay. So and he set, or and he placed them, Beit Ya'ar, Halevanon. Okay. So Beit Ya'ar literally means house of. So the word for house is bayit, bayit. But if you want to say house of, you say Beit. Like everybody knows Bethlehem, right? That's Beit Lechem, house of bread, okay, or house of food. Okay. So Beit, house of Ya'ar, which really means forest. But this was the name of a fort, a northern fort in Israel, okay? Halvanon, of the Lebanon. Okay. All right. Verse 18. This is our last verse. Although maybe not. We're going pretty fast today. We might do more than I thought we would. See, how are you guys doing? Quiet over there. All right. Verse 18. Vaya'as hamelech, and the king made, right? So this is from Asa, the king made a kisei. Who remembers what a kisei is? Kisei. Kisei. Kisei is a chair or a throne. Okay, great. Riley's just listening and taking notes. No problem. That's the right thing to be doing. So kisei is a chair or a throne. This is probably a throne if you look at the next word. The king made a throne, a kisei, of shane. Shane. Shane means tooth or ivory. Okay, so in this case it's ivory. An ivory throne, gadol. Gadol is big, big or great. A great ivory throne. Vaitzapehu zahav mufaz. Okay. Tzapa, we had this the other day. We had as tzapita last night, right? In the command in Exodus. Interesting. We just had the same verb. Remember about the Aron HaKodesh, the Ark of the Covenant? It said vatzepita. You're supposed to overlay it with zahav, right? With gold. And we had a little discussion about it. By the way, I checked. Ibn Ezra thought that the gold was shaped in a special mold so that it was very easy to affix to the wood. Okay, so, all right. So, Yitzapeh, who, that means the yod is he. Tatzape, it actually lost its hey. It's tsari, pei, hey, and the hey went away. So what is this hey? This is a separate suffix. This is who put on the back. And what does who mean? Who means he, right? So, Yetzapehu means he is overlaying it, literally overlaying him, or he will overlay him. The vav changes the aspect. So vaitzapehu, and he overlaid it, and then we have to supply with, in English, zahav, with gold. What kind of gold? Mufaz. Mufaz, this is actually from the word paz. Paz. Paz, we have different words for gold in Hebrew, right? There's a rock, there's the hav, there's paz. Paz is like a very high quality gold, very fine gold. And so what happened here, this is okay, for the grammar nuts, listen, everybody else cover your ears. This is a hofal participle, backwards form from paz. So the verb was made from paz into pazaz. Pazaz, it sounds like a magical word, okay? So mufaz means refined into wonderful gold. They're like very nicely gold refined. Okay, so the gold was good stuff. Okay. All right, so it's acting as an adjective for zahav. Okay, so that was what I thought we'd do for you guys. But let me see. 34 minutes. Let me see if there's any questions. Let's do this. You guys have any questions? Anything you'd like to ask me about, maybe? Now's your chance. Finish your notes. I wish I had more tea. Shalom, William. Hey, the numbers are increasing. Wow. Who knew Kings would be so popular? Maybe it's the day of the week. All right. No questions? Should we push on? Do some more? You guys need to get to work and stuff? What do you want to do? I don't want to make it too long, but... Verse 17, okay, sure. Betty wants me to review verse 17. That's good. Let's do that instead of just pushing so hard. Okay. 17. Ushalosh me'ot, and 300. So literally, u is and, shalosh became shalosh, 3 of. Me'ot, which is 100. Maginim. These are shields. Zahav. Dr. Jones asks, what does kisei in biblical Greek? Oh, you're going to love it. Thronos. Thronos, like throne. That's where we get throne from in English. So that one's easy. That's a freebie. Thronos. With a theta. Like theta. Oh, no. Oh. I wanted to say samech, sigma. Thronos. Okay, so let's back to 17. Ushalosh me'ot, and 300 maginim, shield zahav, that are gold. Shachut. So shachut is from shachat, which is like to pound. Pound. Shachat. So it's a passive. It's formed passively. Shachut means pounded, right? Gold that was pounded. Shaloshet manim zahav. So shaloshet is from shalosha. Dr. Jones likes that one, right? Yeah, I love it when they're free like that. It's like the same as English almost. So that's from shalosha, right? And then the hey became a tav because it's 3 of, is really how Hebrews thinking of this. 3 of manim. 3 of mane. It's a mane in the plural, manim. These measures for precious metals. Okay, what is it? Of gold, zahav. Ya'aleh is brought up. He brought up al upon hamagen ha'echat, on each shield. Literally, on the shield, the one. Okay? Echat is just feminine from echad. Okay? Vayit name, this is from Natan. Natan, to give. And the noon got sandwiched in once we put the yod. In ancient Hebrew, it would have been yimtain. Yimtain. And then that noon, it went in. That's why you have a dagish in the tav. There's 2 of them there. Yintain became yitain. But then when we put the mem on the end, this means them. It's an object. It's the accusative, whatever term you like, of to give, right? Or to place. So yitne, he gave or he placed. What did he place? Aim. Them. Okay? The vav is what's making it, like we could say, past, right? Vayitne. And he placed them. Now we get the subject of the verb. Who's the he? HaMelech, the king. And then, when you have the word bait, I didn't mention this before, maybe this will help you a little bit, Betty. You don't have to, we usually put the bait in front of it. If you want to say in the house, you could say babayit, right? But sometimes in the Bible, they'll drop that redundant bait. It feels like redundant for some reason. So you could just say bayit, could be in the house, right? In a house, right? So, probably this is bebeit ya'ar, right? At, and this is the name of the fort, Beit Ya'ar. But it means house of forest, right? Halevanon, at Lebanon. Okay? Was that good? The yit, Deb says, the yit in Vayit name makes me think it was hitpile. Yeah, that could be a problem. I could see where you would think that. That's a good observation, yeah, because she's talking about, if any of you have reviewed the verbal forms in Hebrew, or if you'd like to, please check out in my playlist here. I have a playlist called Language Snippets, and there's one video that has a picture of a menorah on it. Watch that. It's worth the overview. Even if you don't memorize it, it will show you how logical the Hebrew verbal system is. It's basically a menorah, right? And on one side of the menorah, we have 3 active forms of verbs, right? Where the subject is the one doing the thing. On the other side, we have 3 passive forms, where it's happening to the subject, usually. And in the middle, we have what's called hitpa'el, where the subject is doing it to themselves, usually, not always, right? So, for example, shavar is to break, hit shaber is to break oneself, breaking yourself, right? And the signature of it is it at the beginning. So it might be it if I'm doing it, nit if we're doing it, yit if he's doing it. So what Debs is saying is, it looks like a hitpa'el verbal form with the yit. Yeah, that's definitely like he gave himself, right? Oh, great. Debs posted the video. If any of you want to copy that, but don't click it or it'll take you away. But if you want to copy that for later. Nice. Okay, good. Betty liked the description. Okay, 40 minutes. I don't think we'll do more verses. This is good. Maybe a few more questions of Q&A. I might have gone a little bit quickly through everything tonight. I usually am pretty good about picking the verses, the number of verses, but I feel like I might have gone a bit quicker than I should have. Yeah, great. And yeah, let me just. There was a one of the admins posted something before, I think, about, there it is. If you want to join us in chat, other like-minded learners, I'm pinning the message to the top. That's how you can find us. We've got over 100 people over there in Hebrew Literacy on Telegram. It works on iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac, right? And so it's just a chat application. And so you can post a Hebrew question out there, and one of the other people may answer it, or if nobody does, I'll answer it, or if I see it first, I'll answer it first. And you could share your study techniques and help other people with, when you have cute ideas like Tet did tonight for how to remember the word for governor, then you could post that out and share that. We encourage sharing and encouraging each other to really, it's like-minded people. Doesn't have to be from the same sect or denomination as us. That one is kind of denomination-free, although our flavor is pretty much like, Torah and the Messiah, right? But it's okay. You don't have to believe that way to be in that group. We have another one that's more specific to our sect. But yeah, so you guys are very welcome to come over there. Hey, great. Very welcome, very welcome. Any other comments or questions? Okay, off to work, Gary. Maybe it's good. We ended at 42. And as every science fiction lover knows, 42 is the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. So, all right. All right, shalom, shalom, you guys. You have a good one.